Hello, and welcome back to Pixels and Points. I'm Susie Brown, media buyer planner here at Red Rock, and with me, as always,
Matt Nelson, director of media. All right, so what do we have today?
Today we're going to talk CTV and what is really CTV and what is maybe just online video.
Let's start off with that. What is CTV, Susie? I am completely in the dark about this subject.
Well, CTV is connected television. We also like to call it OTT, which is over the top, which basically means you're getting the impressions somewhere different than just regular over the air broadcasting. So if you are accessing your television programming digitally or with a streaming service, it's considered CTV.
Yeah, and OTT was a umbrella term that I'm seeing less and less as people are moving to just calling it CTV. So, I mean, I am completely fine with that because OTT never made sense anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, but CTV as an umbrella, you can include FEP underneath that, which for everybody is full episode play.
Yes, we're looking for long form programming, not short, quick content. Yep.
And in this article, they talk about other stuff that I feel could fit underneath CTV because in my head, CTV is more of a device rather than exact a channel. It's
Mm-hmm.
CTV should be considered any content that somebody is watching on their TV.
Right. Watching on their big screen, not on their laptop or on their phone.
When you're setting up when you're setting up a buy, like I'm going to get into the weeds for us, when you're setting up a buy, you have choices of devices that you want to be on. There's the CTV, there's desktop, there's mobile, there's tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you don't want your stuff to show up on somebody's tablet, you uncheck that kind of a thing. So
Right.
CTV is more of just a device in my head than an entire tactic itself. But for some of our clients, they want to make sure that their big, pretty expensive ad is
Mm-hmm.
on the big, giant, big, pretty TV.
Right.
So
You want it to be where it looks good. Mm-hmm.
TV, and so underneath you have a bunch of different tactics. So what is this? What does this article go over on that?
So, kind of going through the article, talking about everybody wants a slice of that CTV pie. It's the new shiny toy, obviously. We've been doing it for a while, but it's still growing, right? CTV ad spending is, let's see, projected to grow 13% in the next year. So, all that rapid growth, people that are offering, they have that online video content, want to be able to sell it as connected TV because advertisers want to be buying connected TV. So that's where we kind of get in that gray area.
And connected TV has a higher cost per thousand. So it
Yes.
always, if you can label your stuff as CTV, you can try to charge a higher price for it.
Right.
So,
if you're in that premium bucket, premium pricing. But that's kind of what we want to talk about is how you weed out the premium versus non-premium when you are looking at purchasing CTV. So some of the interesting things I saw here.
it's either weeded out or segregate it into its specific tactic boxes, because
Right.
I'm not going to say that running ads to YouTube on TV is not a good idea. Like on somebody's watching they talk about a podcast, but if somebody's watching a podcast, I'm not against having our ads show up there. Or if somebody's playing a video game and they see an in-game ad somehow, like
Right.
I want to target that audience. I don't care if it's on CTV. If it's considered CTV, that's fine. They're playing on their giant TV, but it's when a vendor comes and tries to sell to us or to our client, saying, "Hey, this is CTV," and it's really it's not what we like to consider. What do we like to consider CTV?
I would consider, yes, CTV would be any of the top streamers is usually what I'm going to go for first. And looking at all the online streaming sports, huge for CTV. Obviously, sports and CTV is going to come at a higher premium, just like what you were saying. So that's where you would separate out your buckets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have one bucket for your really high profile sports, another bucket for your premium streamers where you're looking at Hulu, Disney, HBO Max, Netflix, all those kind of things. But then you kind of want to get into that lower tier of CTV, which would be accessing direct through Roku, right? Fire TV, those kind of things where you're not exactly picking, I'm just going to run on this app, but I'm going to run on everything that you are showing, not as much control and a lower CPM. And then some of the interesting things, like you were talking about, gaming platforms where you can do in-game advertising makes perfect sense depending on your audience. Obviously, if you're advertising, selling an app or a video game, makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to be there.
And when we talk about CTV or premium CTV, we actually try to place our clients in advertising placements of what we're selling them.
Yes.
When we've seen it many times where other vendors will try to sell us and sell our clients packages with this and that, and you're going to get this many impressions for a $10, $15, $20 CPM, and we know
Mm-hmm.
for a fact that the floor price for like Disney or Hulu or
Right.
Amazon,
Is going to be $20. Mm-hmm.
you can't sell it and make a profit for yourself selling it to a client at $20. It's not gonna. It's there. So they're obviously including stuff that is not in there. And in the past, we've seen things run that are supposed to be running on CTV on like Yahoo.com, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's always something that we have our eye on when we're going in and we're looking at the domain reports from publishers that when we're using them to make sure that we're running on actual content. So
Right. And not just an embedded video where someone's, yeah, looking online, comes across something. That's not going to be that long form content, that premium placement, right? Like you were saying, these are video spots. You want them to look good.
to the client, there's a difference between running on CNN's streaming CNN or on like the through Spectrum and running on CNN.com. So
Exactly. Exactly.
it's I'm like, I don't know how many people are watching CNN.com on their big
Big
TV.
screens, but they're definitely having it on their laptop while they're working, right? And half paying attention. It's not that engaged audience.
Yes, and it can kind of get a little muddy unless you go in there and you very much clean it out. But what else
Mm-hmm.
does this article go into?
Another interesting thing I thought it touched on, which is a gray area, is social. So social videos there. Obviously, we've been talking about, if you are going to do social, you do want to use video because it does get that higher engaged audience. And we're seeing
Mhm.
more and more impressions shifting to video versus static. But at the same time, do you consider that CTV?
Well, and social videos are their own distinct animal. A video that was
Mm-hmm.
made for social is not going to work on CTV, while a CTV ad, it doesn't work. It's not
Right,
going to
right.
get you
First of all, you've got to reformat
format.
from
It,
horizontal to vertical, but
but I mean, even if you're shooting an ad that you're going to create and make it into a CTV ad that's going to be on NBC, um,
mhm.
for example, if you reformat it so that you can run it as a vertical ad on, say, TikTok, people don't want to see that on TikTok. People skip
Mm-mm.
right past it. You get a
Yep.
1 second view time on that, and the engagement is incredibly low.
Yeah,
So
and you
I
can
mean,
spot an ad in 2 seconds, right?
that's not
And
what that's not
especially
what
when you're
people are there
scrolling through and it's an automatic scroll.
That's not what people are there for.
Yep.
So it has to be in TikTok. It has to be an engaging ad. It has to be in format. You have to think about the format. You have to be
Mhm.
part of what they're already seeing. So yeah, I wouldn't
And I
consider
think,
anything.
is it skippable is a good indicator of maybe
Absolutely.
this isn't quality CTV.
Is it clickable? Is it skippable? Is there any interaction?
Mhm.
Because with good CTV, where somebody's watching the television show and an ad comes up, they're not clicking on the ad. There's no
Nope.
clicks. So if you're running your CTV campaign and you're
Mhm.
seeing a high click through rate, you're
It's
not on
not CTV.
somebody,
Yeah,
somebody is
exactly.
not somebody has included cell phones and desktops in that CTV campaign. So yes, somebody may be watching Grey's Anatomy on their laptop and then they
Right.
they click through to your site. So is it really CTV? Is it on the big screen? No, it's on somebody's
No.
laptop,
So that would go in, yeah, the online video bucket, I would say.
which is more of an FEP format, and that's what we consider FEP is stuff. I consider FEP everything that somebody's streaming through their laptop or their cell phone, but maybe not on not on a connected television. So it's anything on connected television is a high view completion rate.
Yeah, yeah. So I think definitely the standards line gets drawn at Is it big screens, right? You want big screens and it's not clickable and it's not skippable.
Yeah. All right. I think there was one more. It's just that what we've already been saying. It doesn't one size fit all. CTV is its. I feel CTV is its own animal, and when we talk about it with clients, we are talking about something very specific.
Yes,
It's
yes.
basically think what broadcast TV was 20 years ago. I'm talking about that
Mhm.
on TV. When people sit down and they want to watch a movie, a television show, and they're watching it on Netflix, and an ad comes up, that is the content we try to strive for with CTV. So
Yep,
it's
yep.
it's what we're working for.
It's
Working for.
that branding message, that overall first, top of the funnel message. And then obviously you want to all working together, right? You're sitting there, you're watching your big screen, you pick up your phone to scroll, then you get your second message, which is tailored to social or something, online, and just reiterate your message.
And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with, those free ones like Pluto or Tubi, or the ones that are like the free ones where you go in and it's a channel. Plex is
Right.
one of them, where they have a bunch of channels and you can scroll through it. LG has their channels.
Mhm.
Google,
Yep, Samsung, everyone's got their own. And it is, yeah, like there is value and you can buy that at a cheaper rate. So you just got to
yeah,
make sure you know what you're buying, have everything in its right buckets, and pay accordingly.
yes, and make sure you understand that there's a difference in cost. But for gaming, I think gaming is its own bucket. Audio is its own bucket, which we always strive to. We buy audio on its own separate tactic, so it wouldn't be included in CTV for us.
No, but you can run video on Spotify now, so they're getting in on that market as well.
And that's a completely different tactic to talk about. But
Exactly. Threw a
I don't
wrench
know
in
how
there at
much
the
that
end.
works because I never look at my phone while the video is running. It always throws me off when it sounds like a video is running on my Spotify.
Yeah, you think something's wrong.
Yeah, it feels wrong. But that's me. That's just me. I'm not everybody else.
Well, definitely interesting. Well, I think we'll be back next week talking about a little more CTV TV news. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Very good. All right.